Well, as a very determined, resilient, and resourceful young gentleman, I have the power, the ambition to impact on life positively. And I also have the vision of bringing people along to boost off their ability to be empowered in whatever they intend doing in life. So that is actually why try to I I try to join this mentoring group. It's something very inspiring and kind of it's actually related to my field of studies as a social science. Trying kind of to try to understand the situations, social changes, and the life people living in society. Try to interpret all those things and you think about modernization. How does that affect the society as a whole? And we've noticed that quite recently, a number of people are facing some challenges in the academic field. So they kind of try to introduce a mentoring program in different institutions. So I happen to be one of them. So I am mentoring some groups, about 15 people, students. So my aim is actually to bring inclusive participation into the third level, to engage in young people, to motivate them, to inspire them, to ensure that they are not left behind. Because um, education is all, education is everything. Like my favorite quote I used to tell people is this: if you are finding it easy, then you are getting it wrong. I'm not saying you have to do it in the hard way, but if you are getting it, if finding it easy, then that means that you are actually getting it wrong. You need to start from somewhere, so that you can get at the top. And I always tell people, as for me, I have no limitation. Nothing can limit my ability to progress. Nothing absolutely. And I'm praying to God that He will continue to give me the wisdom and the knowledge and the courage to be resilient, to be resourceful, to pursue my dream. Because I want to become a social analyst in the future, a chief expositor to able to uh, explain the society, to explain the life people are living in the society and why people are moving from the norms of the society to other way of life. So that is actually my dream to as a young person trying to understand why people behave this way and why others behave that way. So trying to bring in that comparison and see what are the factors responsible for that. Well, sometimes in psycho we can also look at it in another way around. It could be some psychological factor or some personality disorder. Some people behave this way and the other behave that way. It could be some psychological disorder or anxiety issues or disorder also affecting their their uh, their thinking, because we also try to look at the abnormality of the individual, what goes on in the human brain, because psychology believe that they try to kind of understand what goes on, you know in the human brain, that it also impact on the functioning or the delivery of the individual. So we look at all different aspects. Some people may be facing like they don't love any longer, they don't even love themselves, neither let's alone talk about people around. So that couldn't be something that it could be a personality issue, personality disorder, something that they've come across in life. It could be that anything like post-traumatic disorder. It could be anything that they face in their lives from the childhood. That's why I always tell people, please, the best stage to protect your child from harm is from 0 to 5. It's a very sensitive stage. It's a stage where the schema try to develop and process information through the top down and the top up button, because whatever information comes into the child's brain, it processes it and it's stored in the child's brain. So we parents need to actually be mindful in raising their children and try to ensure that they have that kind of bond, which B.F. Skinner talk about it, the attachment theory. Have that attachment with your child. Don't say, oh, I'm going to work and I need a money. I need a money to look after you, but you also need time to spend with your children. I think that is also is very very important. And we move on to what they call what Freud term as the component of personality. I actually loved his perspective on psychodynamic. And anyways, I won't talk about that today. Maybe sometimes in a week I will come up with another discussion on the psychodynamic perspective, how it impacts on human behavior. We talk about the sense of self. We also I will actually try to explain in kind of detail according to my understanding how does that affect your functioning, your self-esteem in the society, and the self-actualization. What Bruff and Brenner talks about the hierarchy of needs and the self-actualization. That's the self-actualization actually talking about the human perspective. That is, that's the willingness of the individual to fulfill their dreams. You cannot actually empower anybody. You can only tell them the way. This is the way, and they follow it. If they are willing, they will work with it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. God bless you.